Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. We're doing a deep dive today. We're looking at OPKO Health based on some stuff he sent over.
Right.
And our goal here is to kind of like break down, all the complicated stuff and help you understand it.
Right.
So we've gathered a whole bunch of information on OPKO Health, everything from like their business model and what they're doing, the recent stock performance, and then we'll also look at the technical analysis to give you a really good overview of what's going on. So OPKO Health is a fully integrated healthcare company.
Yes.
And I'm curious, like, what does that even mean?
That's a good question. I think it's really about, a company having their hands in many different parts of the healthcare process.
Okay.
So, you can think about it this way. Instead of, one company that just develops drugs and another company that just runs tests, OPKO does both.
Oh, okay.
So they have more control over the patient's journey, so to speak, from like identifying a disease to offering a treatment.
Makes sense.
And they're really involved in creating next generation solutions for serious diseases across the globe, using both their diagnostic capabilities and the pharmaceuticals that they're developing.
So they're like coming at these health issues from a bunch of different angles.
Right.
They're not just like focused on this one tiny little thing. They're traded on NASDAQ and the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange under the symbol OPK. You mentioned that they're a leader in this space. What makes their approach stand out, though?
Well, one of the things that makes them stand out is their commitment to advancing multispecific therapies.
Okay.
And that's for cancers and infectious diseases. So you can think about this as, instead of a drug targeting just one specific problem in a disease, multi-specific therapies are designed to tackle multiple issues at once.
Right. Yeah.
So they're really going after it. So potentially this could lead to more effective treatments for really complex illnesses.
Oh, wow.
Like cancer.
Yeah.
So this is a really innovative approach compared to
Right.
like the traditional single target therapies that are out there.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They have a lot of partnerships.
Yes.
They work with companies like Pfizer and Merck. So what are the advantages to doing that? Why don't they just go it alone?
Well, partnering with a company like Pfizer, I mean, not only does it validate their research,
Right.
but it gives them access to their global distribution network.
Oh, yeah.
So it significantly cuts down on OPKO's go-to-market timeline if a therapy is approved.
So if they were going in alone, it would take them
Much longer.
so much longer to get their treatment out there.
Exactly. And this is an advantage that a smaller biotech company without such a partnership wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Similarly, a collaboration with Merck could involve technology sharing or joint research efforts.
Okay.
This would accelerate their development process and potentially reduce the risk.
Now, it's not just big pharma.
Yeah.
They're also collaborating with like the NIH and BARDA.
Right. What are the benefits of working with institutions like that?
Well, the NIH, that's the National Institutes of Health.
Yeah.
Collaborating with them provides access to really cutting-edge research and funding opportunities.
Oh, great.
Whereas BARDA,
Yeah.
the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, that really signifies that they're focusing on public health needs.
Right.
Potentially, this could lead to faster development and government support for critical treatments as well. So these relationships, I mean, they can really fuel their innovation pipeline, and provide non-dilutive funding options.
That's huge.
Which is great.
Okay, let's talk about how the stock is doing.
Okay.
We saw some information that suggested that it was recently trending upwards.
It was.
What should an investor make of that?
Well, recent trends do show an upward movement.
Okay.
And platforms like TradingView can give you like a real-time look
at those patterns. I mean, the potential for further growth is there.
Of course.
But as with any investment,
Right.
you always have to think about risk management.
Sure.
It's important to consider, the broader market context and any news specific to OPKO or the healthcare sector that might be influencing this trend.
Do you think that this uptrend could be connected to how well the healthcare sector is doing overall right now?
It very well could be.
Yeah.
I mean, the healthcare sector is a dynamic space. There are constant advancements, new collaborations, and OPKO being a part of this ecosystem and having their own partnerships, they could certainly be benefiting from this positive sentiment.
Okay.
Breakthroughs in related fields or increased investor interest in healthcare innovation.
Yeah.
can really boost the valuations of companies in the sector.
So what are some of the patterns and opportunities that we should be paying attention to when it comes to OPKO? I mean, we've talked a lot about their partnerships. What else is going on internally?
Well, beyond those big partnerships,
Yeah.
their dual focus on diagnostics and pharmaceuticals is a key thing to pay attention to. This diversification gives them multiple revenue streams.
That's smart.
Yeah, and it can kind of act as a buffer against any fluctuations in the diagnostics or the pharmaceutical markets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if one area isn't doing so well, the other one can pick up the slack.
Exactly.
Now, what about their multispecific therapies? I mean, what kind of impact could that have long term if those are successful?
Well, if their clinical trials have positive results for these multispecific therapies, this could generate a lot of interest from investors.
Yeah.
You know, particularly those looking for companies developing novel treatments.
Right.
Successful development in this area could lead to substantial revenue growth and establish OPKO as a leader in this cutting-edge field of medicine.
So you had mentioned that the balanced revenue from diagnostics and pharmaceuticals could appeal to certain investors who are looking for stability. Why would that be?
Well, for investors seeking stability within, the sometimes volatile healthcare sector, a company with revenue coming from both diagnostics, which tends to be more consistent, and pharmaceuticals, which has high growth potential, but also more risk.
Yeah, of course.
Can be quite attractive.
Right.
It provides that blend of steady income and then that potential for a bigger upside.
I see. Okay. Let's talk about things that can actually make the stock price move.
Sure.
We don't have any recent news, but what are some general things we should be looking out for?
Okay, well, the most significant factor influencing their stock price is going to be the outcomes of their clinical trials and any approvals they get for new treatments. Because they're focusing on serious diseases if they have positive results. That can be a major catalyst because it signals, potential for future revenue and a larger market share.
Now, what about those partnerships? How do those typically affect investor sentiment and how the stock is doing?
Well, their collaborations with those big name companies like Pfizer and Merck really enhances their credibility. Successful partnerships can lead to future revenue through licensing agreements or co-commercialization. And investors will often see those as positive signs. It shows the potential of the company and that they're de-risking their development pipeline.
What about how they're managing their finances? How does that usually affect investor confidence?
Well, strong financial performance, which we see in their quarterly earnings reports, is a key factor. Investors want to see revenue growth, profitability, and positive guidance for the future. And this all means, it's a healthy and growing company. Now, on the other hand, disappointing financial results.
Of course.
That can lead to a decline in investor confidence in the stock price.
Are there any, economic factors or industry-wide factors that could affect how OPKO is doing?
Definitely. Changes in healthcare policies and regulations can have a big impact. For example, changes in reimbursement policies or drug pricing can affect revenue and profitability. And then, general trends in the healthcare sector and investor sentiment towards biotech and pharma can influence their stock performance too.
Regardless of how the company's actually doing.
Regardless, exactly.
Okay, let's look at the technical charts. What can recent price movements and trading patterns tell us?
Well, the recent price movements show some back and forth, which suggests some uncertainty in the market. The volatility indicates that investors are reacting to different factors. But there's no clear trend right now.
We see that there's support at 1.35 and resistance at 2.20. What is the significance of these prices?
Well, the support level at 1.35 has historically been where buying interest goes up. And it prevents further declines. So think of it as a floor. The resistance level at 2.20 is where selling pressure has increased. So think of it as a ceiling. These levels can indicate potential turning points in the stock price movement.
The trading volume has been described as inconsistent, spiking at certain times. What does that tell us?
Well, inconsistent trading volume, especially those spikes, often suggests that significant news or technical signals are making investors act decisively.
Gotcha.
So high volume during price breakout above resistance, for example,
Yeah.
could indicate strong conviction behind the upward move.
Okay.
On the other hand, low volume during a price rally might suggest a lack of strong interest,
Right.
and the rally might fade.
We also see that the 50-day moving average is below the 200-day moving average.
Yes.
For someone who doesn't know a lot about technical analysis, what does this mean?
Well, think of the 50-day moving average as the short-term trend,
Okay.
and the 200-day moving average as the long-term trend.
Okay.
When the 50-day average is below the 200-day average, it suggests that the stock has been in a downtrend.
Got it.
However, recent upward price action nearing that 50-day could indicate building momentum that might go against that longer-term trend.
Okay.
We'd really want to see the 50-day cross above the 200-day with increasing volume for stronger confirmation of a trend reversal.
Now, the RSI is currently neutral.
Yeah.
How should we interpret that?
So the RSI,
–
that's a momentum indicator that helps gauge whether a stock is overbought or oversold.
Okay.
A neutral reading suggests that there's no strong upward or downward momentum. It doesn't mean you should buy or sell right now.
Okay.
It just means that the recent price movement hasn't reached extremes.
So when we put all of this together, the current suggestion is to hold.
It is.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, the hold recommendation comes from the conflicting signals.
Okay.
So we have the volatility, the medium-term bearish trend suggested by the moving averages, the potential for a short-term rebound, and the neutral RSI.
Yeah.
All of this suggests that we need to wait for a more definitive trend before taking any action.
So what are those key price levels again?
So a buy signal would be if the price breaks above 2.2 with increased trading volume. That indicates that people are really interested in buying.
Gotcha.
On the other hand, a sell signal would be if the price falls below 1.35 with increased volume, suggesting a potential downside.
Okay.
As long as the price stays between those, a hold position is the best approach.
Okay. So taking everything into consideration, I think our listeners now have a much better understanding of OPKO Health, their business model.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their growth drivers and what the technical indicators are telling us.
Right.
It also kind of emphasizes how important it is to keep up with their clinical trial progress, how their partnerships are doing, their financial reports, and what's going on in the healthcare market.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is.
But it's really important to make informed decisions.
Now, the technical analysis does suggest that we need to be cautious for now.
It does.
So keep an eye on those price levels we talked about.
Yes.
This situation with OPKO raises a really interesting question for our listeners.
Okay.
How do you balance the potential of these innovative healthcare companies with all the ups and downs of the biotech and pharmaceutical industries when you're making investment decisions?
That is the question.
It is the question. If you found this deep dive helpful and want to explore other companies or investment topics, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment with your suggestions. We appreciate you joining us today.